Real Country 1430 AM and 1073 FM WRDN. Brian Winnekins from Commodity Classic, and thank you to our Commodity Classic sponsors, including Wisconsin Soybean Association, Synergy Co-op, Wisconsin Farmers Union, Osteoplastics, Compeer Financial, and Abyss Silo, the Animal Wellness Center, Buffalo Valley, Elsivia Co-op, and the Wisconsin Corn Growers Association. Joining us right now, Ben Augustine. He's a corn grower from Wisconsin. He's from Sheldon, and we're going to talk with Ben a little bit about his farm and some of the things he's doing here at the Commodity Classic. And Ben, thanks for joining us. Okay, I know where Sheldon is because when I'm going to my land up in winter in Sawyer County, I know where the sound, and actually Rhonda used to work for Sheldon Co-op, but that's in Rusk County. You're going to be a little bit different, I bet, on your operation than we are in Durand, because I know the soil up there isn't the best.
You're right there, Brian. Yeah, it's a little more clay based. It's a little heavier soil. I know the topography is even different from where you're at, from where I'm at. So we're a little more conventional tillage than where you're at, and that. So I milk a lot of cows. We milk 1,000 cows. We run 24/7 with that. We farm about 2,800 acres of corn, soybean, of course, alfalfa too. So. Priority is always keep the cows fed. So with that, we run a lot of heavy trucks, getting chopping stuff off. So we have to kind of get down there and kind of keep that compaction out of the soils and that. So, but we do keep a lot of practices in place to minimize soil loss and erosion and that, and keep our grass, try to keep our grass waterways established to prevent that and stuff too. It's the same thing with manure too. Got to keep it, respect the setbacks, and last thing I want to do is have it running off the field and going to places where it shouldn't be going. So
and protecting that groundwater, obviously, like in our part of the state, we have those lighter soils, we have some karst issues, and so we do have some nitrate issues potentially in groundwater. But in talking with some of the dairy farmers in our area, they say, Brian, that those nitrates in that groundwater, we don't want that either because it's bad for the cows. And so I'm sure that's something you have to really monitor.
You're right there, Brian. We have to keep it pretty close. Our well, for the dairy, it gets got to be inspected every 2 years. We got to submit a sample to the state just to keep the grade A permit. They're looking for the nitrates, bacteria, a lot of other stuff in there too, just to make sure the cows are getting clean water, and we're cleaning the system and everything with clean water. Nobody wants dirty water trying to clean the system with dirty water is kind of pointless.
Now, are you able to? I know in talking with the Steyers over by Elflalong, not too far from us in Durand, they recycle their water like 3 or 4 times. It seems like. Are you able to do some of that?
No, we're not able to yet. We know the technology's there. Some guys are a little more ahead than us on that. A lot of our water, does get pumped in the pit and stuff. So.
But it's not getting pumped straight out. I know, like with Elfalong, they're using it for cool. Maybe the first time they use it is to cool the milk, but then they use that again to maybe help with cleaning the barn, so that they can use it again, and instead of having to get quote unquote new water.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the water we use for our plate cooler gets dumped into basically a big reservoir tank, and actually gets fed. Cows drink all that water. Some of that water does get used for cleaning the parlor down because it is fairly clean. It does get treated with hydrogen peroxide too, to cut the bacteria down if there's any, and that just kind of help keep the lines clean too. So yeah, we do use it for dual purpose. And cows actually do like warmer water, not cold water. They actually like warmer water better.
I just learned something new here at Commodity Classic with the corn and soybean folks on the dairy side. Today's a good day. If I learn one new thing a day, I consider it a good day. Along with the manure and the fertilizer applications, you always watch that and when you can and can't do it. Because of the heavier soil, is it harder for you to use cover crops? And you're so far. I hate to say so far north, but you are a lot farther north, and your growing season's got to be at least a few weeks shorter than ours.
You're right. It's you get your kind of area. You guys are a lot of times 3 weeks in the fields before we're even thinking about it. Cover crops, I do try to use what I can. It is pretty tough. We're usually late out there trying to harvest stuff. Like in the spring with my alfalfa years ago, I used to just direct seed it, just pure alfalfa, and that's it. Well, now I'm back to putting oats with it, and then letting the oats get some height on it, 8, 10, 12 inches, and I come and spray it off. And at least then oats gets that root base established quick for that erosion. So then the alfalfa will come through, and they got their little roots doing their thing then, and kind of help cut that down. Then we notice it works well. So.
Are you able to, with the dairy, potentially with like those oats, say, okay, if I could leave it a little longer, I could maybe use it as an early spring forage? Or again, every operation's different, and there is no one size fits all. So you have to figure out what can work for you. Are you able to do that, or is it just not possible?
It's just not possible for us. I mean, every operation is different, Brian. For us, alfalfa is the last thing that gets planted in the season. And we're like I said, it can be heavy. It can be a little wetter up there, and we just choose not to harvest that because with trucks and heavier equipment, last thing I want to do is root up my fields and destroy a stand that I have to put up with for the next 4 to 5 years. So we just spray it off when it's time, when it's dry, and then we want the alfalfa. It's a consistent feed to the cows then too. So and that's what big dairies, any dairy, I'll tell you, consistent feed makes consistent milk.
So while you've been here at Commodity Classic, what are some of the things you've been trying to take advantage of?
A few of the big thing is networking with people across the United States. I learned more talking to people. It's a great community to be part of. I'm part of the NCGA, Wisconsin Corn Growers Board. Nice seeing some old friends I don't see all the time. You see them once or twice a year. So nice talking to them, see what they're doing, see what they're up to, what they've been doing, trying, not trying, what may work, not work. Also, too, with the trade show down here, there's a lot of new technologies coming out. That's a never-ending thing. But, what is practical for me, what's practical for the farm? How can I improve, whether it's looking at corn planter to get more precise with seed placement and, populations. I see now even with fertilizer, the exact shot John Deere has, where only puts the fertilizer right where the seed's at, not in constant trench like we're always been accustomed to. I even see they got cameras that you can actually watch the seed trench now from the cab. So I was like, pretty cool.
What's coming next is, we have the Eagle Cam, or whatever. You're going to be able to have a little camera in the field to watch it grow.
Oh yeah, oh yes. There's growers out there that have it, and they're like, hey, I can look at my field right now, and right now it's just bare dirt, or in my case, snow, but.
And a lot of it, and a lot more coming. When we recorded this on Friday of Classic, there was more snow coming. Well, Ben, again, we really appreciate you taking some time for joining us today. Ben Augustine, he's a farmer from Wisconsin up in Sheldon area, and he's also here at Commodity Classic as well with a whole lot of Wisconsin corn and soybean growers from Commodity Classic. I'm Brian Winnikins.